Chapter 1: First Contact. On a crisp autumn morning in 2045, humanity's view of the cosmos changed forever. A massive, iridescent spaceship appeared in Earth's orbit, its hull shimmering like mother of pearl. As panic gripped the globe, world leaders scrambled to formulate a response. Dr. Amelia Chun, a brilliant xenolinguist, found herself abruptly pulled from her university office and thrust into the heart of humanity's first extraterrestrial encounter. Within hours, she had deciphered enough of the aliens' complex tonal language to establish basic communication. The visitors called themselves the Zorax, representatives of a vast galactic federation. They requested a meeting with Earth's leaders to assess our planet's readiness for membership in their interstellar community. As the UN Security Council debated strategies, Dr. Chun made an unconventional suggestion: let's invite them to dinner. Her proposal was met with incredulous stares, but Chun persisted. Breaking bread together is a universal sign of peace. It's a chance to showcase our culture beyond just our technology. Reluctantly, the world leaders agreed. They assembled a team of Earth's most renowned chefs, led by the famous culinary innovator, Marco Rossi. Their mission: prepare a meal that would impress beings from across the stars. Chapter 2: The Dinner That Changed Everything. The venue chosen was a grand hall in Geneva, hastily retrofitted to accommodate the Zorax's unique physiology. Chef Rossi and his team worked tirelessly, creating a menu that spanned continents and culinary traditions. When the Zorax delegates arrived, tension filled the air. They were tall, ethereal beings with translucent skin that seemed to shift colors like the surface of a soap bubble. Their 4 eyes blinked in complex patterns, a part of their language that Dr. Chun was still struggling to interpret. The dinner began with a dish of molecular gastronomy, a sphere of olive oil encased in a thin membrane of calcium, served on a spoon of pureed roasted peppers. It was meant to showcase human scientific advancement. The lead Zorax, Xylix, politely consumed the dish but seemed unimpressed. Interesting, it communicated via a translator device. Though this level of molecular manipulation is quite primitive by our standards. Chef Rossi's heart sank. If they couldn't impress the aliens with science, what hope did they have? In that moment of desperation, Rossi made a bold decision. He abandoned the carefully planned menu and instead ordered his team to prepare a variety of dishes from across Earth's cultures. What followed was a whirlwind tour of global cuisine. Spicy Indian curries that made the Zorax's color-shifting skin flicker rapidly. Delicate Japanese sushi that they examined with fascination before consuming. Rich Italian pasta that elicited sounds of pleasure previously unheard from the stoic aliens. But it was dessert that truly changed everything. When presented with a simple piece of dark chocolate, Xylix's reaction was unprecedented. Its skin erupted in a dazzling display of colors, and it immediately requested more. In all our travels, Xylix announced, we have never encountered a flavor like this. It is transcendent. As the dinner concluded, the Zorax revealed the true purpose of their visit. Earth was being considered for membership in the Galactic Federation. Based on our technology alone, they had been prepared to deny our application. But this meal had changed everything. Your species possesses a culinary diversity and creativity unmatched in our explorations, Xylix declared. We believe this reflects a unique adaptability and cultural richness that would greatly benefit our galactic community. With that, Earth was officially invited to join the Federation. As the Zorax prepared to leave, they made an unusual request. They wanted to take some chocolate with them. Dr. Chun and Chef Rossi shared a look of disbelief. Humanity's ticket to the stars hadn't been our science or our diplomacy, but our food. Chapter 3: The Galactic Culinary Exhibition. In the months that followed, Earth was abuzz with activity. As diplomats worked out the details of our integration into the galactic community, the culinary world was focused on one thing: the upcoming Galactic Culinary Exhibition. This event, held every 50 Earth years, showcased the best cuisines from across the Federation. It was a chance for Earth to establish itself on the cosmic stage, and the pressure was immense. Chef Rossi was chosen to lead Earth's team, a diverse group of culinary experts from around the globe. They faced a daunting challenge: how to prepare Earth cuisine using alien ingredients while still maintaining its essential character. The team set up in a specially designed kitchen in Houston, working alongside xenobiologists to understand the properties of extraterrestrial produce. They experimented tirelessly, creating new fusion dishes that blended Earth techniques with alien flavors. But as the exhibition approached, disaster struck. A key ingredient for their showcase dish, a rare Martian fungus, was destroyed when a solar flare disrupted the supply ship's containment field. With less than 48 hours until the exhibition, Rossi made a controversial decision. Instead of scrambling to replace the dish, he decided to go back to basics. "We'll show them the beauty of Earth's simplest foods," he declared. The day of the exhibition arrived. Alien beings of all shapes and sizes crowded the vast space station where the event was held. Earth's booth, modest compared to the high-tech displays of other worlds, drew curious onlookers. Rossi and his team worked with quiet confidence, preparing dishes that had stood the test of time on Earth. Fresh bread, just baked, perfect omelet, a simple tomato pasta, and for dessert, a rich chocolate mousse. The response was beyond their wildest dreams. Aliens lined up for hours to taste Earth's offerings. The bread, with its complex gluten structure, was unlike anything most species had encountered. The omelet showcased the versatility of the humble egg. The pasta demonstrated the magic of wheat transformation. And the chocolate mousse? It nearly caused a riot. By the end of the exhibition, Earth had secured its place as a culinary powerhouse in the galaxy. Rossi's team was awarded the highest honor, the Cosmic Ladle, and Earth was invited to host the next exhibition. As Rossi accepted the award, he reflected on the journey that had brought them there. From a desperate diplomatic dinner to the stars, Earth's path to the cosmos had been paved not with advanced technology, but with the simple, profound pleasure of a good meal. Chapter 4: Spice Wars. Earth's culinary triumph at the Galactic Culinary Exhibition had far-reaching consequences. As alien beings clamored for Earth cuisine, a new industry emerged almost overnight. Restaurants serving Earth food sprouted across the galaxy, and trade in Earth ingredients boomed. But it was the humble spice trade that would reshape galactic politics. Zara Patel, a third-generation spice merchant from Mumbai, saw an opportunity. She began exporting small batches of various spices to alien worlds. The response was unprecedented. Species across the galaxy found Earth's spices to be not just flavorful, but often physiologically impactful in ways humans had never imagined. Cardamom, it turned out, acted as a potent neurostimulant for the crystalline Vox people of Rigel 9. Saffron induced a meditative state in the gaseous Zephyrians. And cinnamon? It became the most sought-after aphrodisiac in 12 star systems. As demand skyrocketed, control over Earth's spice trade became a hot-button issue in galactic politics. The Galactic Federation Council debated regulations, with some species pushing for classification of certain spices as controlled substances. Zara found herself at the center of a galactic controversy. Her small family business had grown into a vast empire, with plantations on terraform worlds and a fleet of spice freighters. She was hailed as a visionary by some, and decried as a drug lord by others. The situation came to a head when the warlike Kreks, a species of silicon-based lifeforms, declared that they would invade Earth to seize control of the cinnamon supply. Their addiction to the spice had destabilized their entire society. In a tense emergency session of the Galactic Council, it fell to Dr. Amelia Chun, now Earth's chief xenodiplomat, to find a peaceful solution. Her proposal was bold. Earth would share its agricultural techniques with the galaxy, allowing other worlds to cultivate their own spices. In exchange, Earth would maintain control over certain heritage strains, ensuring ongoing cultural and economic relevance. The compromise was accepted, narrowly averting war. The Kreks reluctantly agreed to a cinnamon addiction treatment program in exchange for horticultural assistance. As the crisis subsided, Zara reflected on the strange new reality. She had only wanted to share her cultural heritage with the stars, never imagining that cardamom and cinnamon could shape the fate of civilizations. Chapter 5: The Fast Food Revolution. While diplomatic tensions over the spice trade were settling, Another Earth culinary export was taking the galaxy by storm: fast food. Jake Chun, a young entrepreneur from San Francisco, saw potential in the long queues at Earth cuisine restaurants across the galaxy. Aliens were fascinated by Earth food but often intimidated by the complex preparations and unfamiliar dining rituals. Jake's solution? McEarth, a fast food chain that promised the taste of Terra in 60 seconds. The first McEarth kiosk opened in a busy spaceport on Alpha Centauri. Its simple menu featured icons instead of words: a stylized burger, fries, and a drink. The food was designed to be eaten easily by a variety of alien physiologies. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Species that had been hesitant to try sit-down Earth restaurants flocked to McEarth. The simplicity and speed appealed to the galactic palate. Within a year, McEarth franchises had spread to over 100 worlds. Jake found himself at the helm of a galactic corporate empire, all before his 30th birthday. But with great success came great challenges. Health concerns began to emerge. Some species found the high-fat, high-sugar content of fast food addictive. A particularly concerning case arose on Nebula 6, where the gaseous inhabitants began to solidify after excessive McEarth consumption. Jake faced a barrage of criticism. Health advocates across the galaxy accused him of exporting unhealthy eating habits. Cultural preservationists on Earth argued he was cheapening human culinary heritage. Faced with a PR nightmare and the threat of galactic regulation, Jake had to act fast. He assembled a diverse team of xenobiologists, nutritionists, and chefs from across the galaxy. Their mission: to reinvent McEarth as a responsible, health-conscious brand that still delivered on the promise of quick, accessible Earth flavors. The result was a revolution in fast food. The new McEarth menu featured options tailored to the biology of different species: algae burgers for aquatic races, nitrogen-infused shakes for ammonia breathers, even photosynthesis pods for energy-absorbing beings. Jake also introduced a radical transparency policy, with detailed nutritional information available for all menu items, translated into every major galactic language. The rebranded McEarth was a hit. Not only did it defuse the health controversies, but it also became a model for responsible cross-species commerce. Jake was invited to speak at the Galactic Economic Forum, sharing his insights on ethical expansion and cultural exchange through cuisine. As he stood before an audience of beings from across the cosmos, Jake marveled at the journey. From a small kiosk in a spaceport to the forefront of galactic cuisine, all thanks to the humble. Chapter 6. The Culinary Academy of Earth. As Earth's culinary influence spread across the galaxy, a new challenge emerged: how to maintain the authenticity and quality of Earth cuisine on distant worlds. The solution came in the form of an ambitious educational project: the Culinary Academy of Earth, CAE. Dr. Amelia Chun, the xenolinguist who had facilitated First Contact, partnered with Chef Marco Rossi to establish this unprecedented institution. Their vision was to create a place where beings from across the galaxy could come to learn the art and science of Earth cooking. The academy was built in the rolling hills of Tuscany, its futuristic architecture seamlessly blending with the ancient landscape. State-of-the-art kitchens were designed to accommodate students of all physiologies, from methane breathers to silicon-based life forms. The inaugural class was a sight to behold. Floating gas bags from Jupiter's moons hovered next to towering insectoids from the Andromeda Galaxy. Crystalline beings from distant nebulae sparkled beside furry, six-armed creatures from Alpha Centauri. The curriculum was as diverse as the student body. Classic techniques were taught alongside courses on adapting recipes for alien physiologies. Xenobiology and chemistry became as crucial as knife skills and flavor pairing. One of the most popular courses was The History and Culture of Earth Cuisine. Taught by Dr. Chen herself, students were fascinated by the way Earth's diverse cultures had shaped its food, and how meals had played a role in everything from religious ceremonies to diplomatic negotiations. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural misunderstandings abounded. A group of photosynthetic aliens were horrified to learn about the concept of cooking plants, viewing it as a form of murder. A diplomatic incident nearly occurred when a silicon-based student accidentally shattered their crystalline roommate while enthusiastically kneading bread dough. Despite the challenges, the Academy flourished. Its graduates spread across the galaxy, opening authentic Earth cuisine restaurants and further popularizing human flavors. Some even began fusing Earth techniques with their own cultural traditions, creating entirely new galactic fusion cuisines. The Academy soon became more than just a culinary school. It turned into a hub for cultural exchange, a place where different species could come together and find common ground through the universal language of food. Chapter 8. The Forbidden Fruit. In the wake of Earth's triumph at the Intergalactic Culinary Olympics, humanity's reputation as gastronomic innovators reached new heights. However, this newfound status brought unexpected challenges, as the galaxy's attention turned to one of Earth's rarest delicacies, the miracle fruit, Syncephalum dulcificum. Native to West Africa, the miracle fruit had a unique property. It could make sour foods taste sweet. This simple berry sparked a galactic frenzy when it was discovered that its effects varied wildly among different alien species. For some, it induced euphoria. For others, it temporarily enhanced psychic abilities. And for a select few, it seemed to briefly unlock the secrets of the universe itself. Dr. Yana Okafor, a Nigerian botanist, found herself thrust into the center of a galactic controversy. As the leading expert on the miracle fruit, she was tasked with managing its cultivation and distribution. The demand was astronomical, but the supply was severely limited. The plant was notoriously difficult to grow, even on Earth. Attempts to cultivate the miracle fruit on other worlds failed spectacularly. On a terraformed Mars, the plants grew to the size of redwoods but lost all their miraculous properties. On the ocean world of Aquarius 9, they dissolved into the seas, creating a planet-wide psychedelic event that lasted for weeks. As prices for the miracle fruit skyrocketed, a black market emerged. Smugglers risked interstellar travel to transport small batches of the berries to distant worlds. Diplomatic tensions rose as various alien governments demanded preferential access to the fruit. The situation reached a boiling point when the hegemony of Altair threatened to invade Earth to seize control of miracle fruit production. The Galactic Federation Council convened an emergency session to address the crisis. Dr. Okafor was called to testify. In a passionate speech, she argued for strict regulation of miracle fruit distribution and increased funding for xenobotanical research. "We must approach this gift with responsibility and wisdom," she urged. "Its power to bring species together is matched only by its potential to drive us apart." Her words had a profound impact. The Council agreed to establish the Intergalactic Botanical Research Institute on Earth, with Dr. Okafor at its head. The institute would study not just the miracle fruit, but all of Earth's unique flora, seeking to unlock their potential benefits for the galaxy in a controlled, ethical manner. As part of the agreement, Earth would provide small, regulated quantities of miracle fruit to member worlds for scientific and medical research. In exchange, Earth received unprecedented access to alien botanical knowledge and technology. The crisis averted, Dr. Okafor returned to her work with a renewed sense of purpose. As she stood in the newly constructed Intergalactic Botanical Gardens, watching researchers from 100 worlds studying Earth plants with fascination, she marveled at how a tiny berry had opened up vast new frontiers of science and diplomacy. Chapter 9. Comfort Food Diplomacy. As Earth's culinary influence spread across the stars, an unexpected phenomenon began to emerge. Alien beings who had spent time on Earth, diplomats, students, tourists, began to experience a new emotion: homesickness for a planet that wasn't their own. The cure, invariably, was Earth food. Recognizing this trend, the Galactic Diplomatic Corps decided to leverage Earth cuisine in a new initiative dubbed Comfort Food Diplomacy. The idea was simple: use the emotional power of food to foster understanding and resolve conflicts across the galaxy. Leading this initiative was Jun Miyazaki, a renowned chef and cultural anthropologist. His first major test came when he was sent to mediate a centuries-old conflict between the crystalline Lumini and the shadow-dwelling Umbrans of the Epsilon Eridani system. Jun and his team set up a neutral space station halfway between the warring planets. Instead of a formal negotiation table, they created a warm, inviting dining room. The menu was carefully crafted to appeal to both species. Light-refracting dishes for the Lumini, shadow-infused delicacies for the Umbrans, and a selection of earth comfort foods adapted for both physiologies. The first meetings were tense. The Lumini and Umbrans had not sat at the same table for generations. But as they shared meals day after day, something began to change. Over bowls of luminescent ramen and plates of dark matter dumplings, the two species started to see each other as people rather than ancient enemies. The breakthrough came during a particularly difficult session. Frustrations were running high, and it seemed the negotiations might collapse. In a moment of inspiration, June served a dessert he called Eclipse Cake, a sphere of dark chocolate surrounding a core of bright, citrusy cream. To eat it, the Lumini and Umbrans had to work together, cracking the chocolate shell to reveal the light within. As they shared this symbolic dessert, barriers began to crumble. The Lumini and Umbrans found common ground in their enjoyment of the flavors, and the metaphor of the dish was not lost on them. By the end of the meal, they had drafted the first peace accord in their history. News of this diplomatic breakthrough spread quickly. Soon, June and his team were being called to hotspots across the galaxy. They mediated trade disputes with Fusion Sushi, brokered peace treaties over plates of interstellar paella, and facilitated cultural exchanges with molecular gastronomy showcases. Earth food, with its incredible diversity and adaptability, proved to be the perfect tool for bringing different species together. It provided a shared experience that transcended language and biology, allowing beings to connect on a fundamental level. As the success of comfort food diplomacy grew, Earth found itself in a new role on the galactic stage. No longer just a newcomer to the cosmic community, it had become an essential mediator, using its culinary heritage to foster peace and understanding across the stars. Jun Miyazaki, reflecting on this journey as he prepared for his next diplomatic mission, smiled to himself. Who would have thought, he mused, that the fate of galaxies could be changed by a well-prepared meal? Chapter 10. The Flavor Frontier. As Earth's culinary influence continued to expand across the galaxy, humanity faced a new challenge, the quest for new flavors. With alien beings clamoring for ever more exotic Earth tastes, and humans developing palates for extraterrestrial cuisine, the search for novel gastronomic experiences reached fever pitch. Enter Dr. Zoe Carter, a brilliant xenobiologist with a passion for cooking. She proposed a daring mission: send a team of chefs, scientists, and explorers to the farthest reaches of known space in search of new ingredients and cooking techniques. The project was dubbed the Flavor Frontier. The Galactic Council approved the mission, seeing it as a way to promote cultural exchange and explore uncharted regions simultaneously. They provided a state-of-the-art starship, christened the GSS Julia Child, equipped with advanced research labs and experimental kitchens. Dr. Carter assembled an eclectic crew. Chef Ravi Kapoor, a culinary prodigy known for his molecular gastronomy. Dr. Xian Liu, an astrobiologist specializing in extreme life forms. Captain Aisha Okonkwo, a decorated starship pilot with a secret passion for baking. Zork, a gelatinous alien sommelier with over 500 taste buds across its body. And a diverse team of chefs, scientists, and explorers from across Earth and allied planets. Their 5-year mission: to seek out new life and new flavors, to boldly taste what no one has tasted before. The journey was fraught with challenges and discoveries. On the ocean moon of Triton, they discovered bioluminescent algae that tasted like a combination of truffles and star anise, but also caused temporary telepathy. In the methane swamps of Gliese 667cc, they found fungi that could safely be consumed by every known species in the galaxy, tasting different to each but always delicious. They learned fermenting techniques from gas giant bacteria that resulted in beverages that could alter the dringer's perception of time. On a rogue planet drifting between stars, they encountered crystalline life forms that grew flavor crystals, each containing a perfect, pure taste. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The crew faced dangerous wildlife, harsh environments, and even a few hostile alien encounters. During a particularly harrowing experience in a dystopian robot society, they had to cook their way out of imprisonment, proving that organic food could be superior to the robots' nutrient pills. The mission's most significant discovery came in the final year when they encountered the gustators, an ancient species that experienced reality primarily through taste. The gustators shared their flavor language, a way of communicating complex ideas and emotions through carefully crafted taste combinations. This discovery revolutionized not just cuisine, but intergalactic communication. Diplomats could now convey treaty terms through a carefully prepared meal, and artists could create flavor symphonies that told stories more vivid than any Hollywood. As the GSS Julia Child returned to Earth, laden with new ingredients, techniques, and knowledge, Dr. Carter reflected on their journey. They had set out to expand the boundaries of cuisine but had ended up transforming the very nature of galactic culture and communication. The Flavor Frontier mission was hailed as a triumph, and plans for future expeditions were immediately put into motion. Earth, once a newcomer to the galactic stage, was now leading the way into a new era of culinary and cultural exploration. As she stepped off the ship, greeted by cheering crowds and a barrage of sent messages, the latest craze in Earth communication, Dr. Carter smiled. The universe, she realized, was not just vast and mysterious. It was delicious. Chapter 11: The Great Galactic Bake-Off. In the wake of the Flavor Frontier mission's success, the galaxy was hungry for more. The Intergalactic Broadcasting Corporation, IBC, saw an opportunity and proposed an ambitious project, the Great Galactic Bake-Off, a cooking competition show that would bring together bakers from across the known universe. The show's premise was simple yet challenging. Contestants would face baking tasks that required them to create desserts capable of being enjoyed by multiple species. The difficulty lay not just in the baking itself, but in understanding the vastly different biologies, taste preferences, and cultural significances of sweetness across alien cultures. The show's host was none other than Arya Nakamura, the Earth chef who had led humanity to victory in the Intergalactic Culinary Olympics. Her co-host was Blurple, a color-shifting alien from Centauri Prime, known for its witty commentary and ability to taste in 14 dimensions. Contestants came from all corners of the galaxy. Zlob, a hive-mind fungal network from Betelgeuse, capable of baking simultaneously in multiple bodies. Tpax, a Vulcanoid with an eidetic memory for flavors and a strictly logical approach to baking. Gloops, an amorphous being from a high-gravity world, whose malleable form allowed for unique baking techniques. Fotia, an energy being who baked using controlled fusion reactions. And Mei Chun, a human pastry chef from Hong Kong, determined to show that Earth could compete with the best in the galaxy. The competition was fierce and full of surprises. Challenges included creating a cake that could withstand the vacuum of space while remaining delicious to carbon-based and silicon-based life forms. Baking a pie with a filling that existed in quantum superposition, tasting different to each judge until the moment of consumption. Constructing a gingerbread house that was dimensionally transcendental, bigger on the inside. The show became an overnight sensation, broadcast to trillions of beings across thousands of worlds. Viewers were captivated by the creativity on display and the cultural exchanges that happened in the bake-off tent. May, the human contestant, struggled at first with the alien ingredients and physics-defying techniques of her competitors. But her creativity and adaptability, hallmarks of human cooking, began to shine through. For the dessert that represents your homeworld challenge, she created a delicate lotus seed paste mooncake filled with a miniature, edible diorama of Hong Kong's skyline, complete with tiny moving hovercars made of spun sugar. As the competition progressed, it became about more than just baking. It was a celebration of diversity, a showcase of problem-solving across species, and a testament to the unifying power of the shared joy of eating. The finale was a nail-biter, with May and Zlob neck and neck for the title. The final challenge? Create a dessert that tells the story of the galaxy's history. May's creation was a triumph, a spiral galaxy made of layered crepes, each layer representing a different era of galactic history. The spiral arms were dotted with star-shaped meringues of varying flavors, and at the galactic core was a dark chocolate ganache so rich it seemed to have its own gravity. In a close decision, May was crowned the winner, bringing glory once again to Earth's culinary traditions. But more importantly, she had helped forge new connections across the galaxy. In kitchens and bakeries across countless worlds, beings of all kinds were now experimenting with recipes and techniques showcased on the show. As the camera panned out on the celebrating bakers, Arya Nakamura's voice carried across the galaxy. Remember, sentient beings, in the vast cosmic kitchen of the universe, there's no problem that can't be solved with a little flour, sugar, and an open mind. The Great Galactic Bake-Off had proved once again that in the quest for universal understanding, sometimes the best place to start is dessert. Chapter 12, The Cosmic Cookbook. As Earth's culinary influence reached every corner of the known universe, a new challenge emerged. With so many recipes, techniques, and flavors scattered across countless worlds, there was a need to compile this vast knowledge into a single, comprehensive source. Thus, the idea for the Cosmic Cookbook was born. Dr. Amelia Chen, the xenolinguist who had facilitated First Contact, came out of retirement to lead this monumental project. She assembled a diverse team of chefs, scientists, historians, and linguists from across the galaxy to create the most ambitious culinary compendium ever attempted. The project took years. The team traveled to distant worlds, dove into ancient archives, and interviewed beings from all walks of life. They faced numerous challenges. How to translate recipes designed for beings with entirely different biologies. How to describe flavors that existed outside of human perception. How to respect the sacred or secret nature of some species' culinary traditions. But slowly, the cookbook took shape. It wasn't just a collection of recipes. It was a history of the galaxy told through food. Each entry included not just ingredients and instructions, but the cultural significance of the dish, its history, and often, a story of how it had brought different species together. The book's format was as innovative as its content. It was published as an interactive holographic database, capable of adapting its display and content to the biology and cultural background of the reader. For a methane-breathing silicon-based life form, it would present entirely different imagery and descriptors than it would for a human. As the project neared completion, excitement built across the galaxy. The official release date was set to coincide with the 10th anniversary of Earth's entry into the Galactic Federation. Chapter 13. A Feast for the Ages. To celebrate the release of the Cosmic Cookbook and commemorate a decade of Earth's galactic citizenship, an unprecedented event was planned, the Grand Galactic Feast. Every member world of the Federation was invited to send representatives to Earth for a meal that would last an entire Earth week. The logistical challenges were immense, but after a decade of culinary diplomacy, Earth was more than prepared. The feast was held in a massive, purpose-built structure in the Sahara Desert, chosen for its ability to accommodate the widest variety of alien environmental needs. The building was a marvel of xenoarchitecture, with sections that could simulate everything from the crushing pressures of gas giant cores to the vacuum of space. Chefs from across the galaxy worked side by side, using recipes from the Cosmic Cookbook to create a menu that spanned the entirety of known space and time. Dishes included primordial soup, recreating the flavors of young planets. Dishes made from artificial flavors indistinguishable from those of long-extinct species. Future food, with flavors extrapolated by AIs to represent tastes that had not yet evolved. The feast became a celebration not just of food, but of the unity and diversity of life in the galaxy. Beings who would never have been able to share a table in the past found themselves breaking bread together, sharing stories, and forming bonds that transcended their biological differences. As the final day of the feast approached, Dr. Chen prepared to give a speech. She looked out over the gathered representatives of 1,000 worlds, all brought together by the simple act of sharing a meal. Epilogue: The Flavor of Peace. Dr. Amelia Chen stepped up to the podium, her eyes scanning the vast array of beings before her. She smiled, cleared her throat, and began to speak. Distinguished guests, citizens of the galaxy, friends. A decade ago, when the Zorax first appeared in Earth's skies, we greeted them not with weapons, but with a dinner invitation. Little did we know that this simple act would set us on a path that would transform not just our world, but the entire galaxy. Food has been our universal language, our bridge across the stars. It has been the medium through which we have shared our cultures, resolved our conflicts, and expressed our deepest truths. The Cosmic Cookbook, which we celebrate today, is more than just a collection of recipes. It is a testament to the power of sharing, of curiosity, and of the simple joy of a good meal. As we look to the future, we face many challenges. There are still conflicts to resolve, mysteries to unravel, and vast expanses of space to explore. But I am confident that whatever we face, we will face it together, with open minds and full stomachs. So let us raise our glasses, our tentacles, our photoreceptors, or whatever appendages we may have. Here's to another decade of peace, prosperity, and deliciousness. May our appetites for knowledge and understanding never be sated. And may we always remember that in this grand cosmic kitchen, there's room for every flavor, every texture, and every being under the stars. To the flavor of peace. As cheers erupted in 1,000 different languages, Dr. Chun looked out at the gathered beings. She saw Zara Patel, the spice merchant, deep in conversation with a Krex diplomat about sustainable farming practices. Jake Chun, the fast food mogul, was exchanging notes on ethical business expansion with a group of Zephyrian entrepreneurs. Arya Nakamura and Mei Chun were already planning a new cooking show with contestants from newly discovered worlds. And there, in the center of it all, was a simple table with beings from across the cosmos sharing a meal together. Dr. Chun smiled. This, she thought, was the true power of food, the power to bring us together, no matter how different we might seem. As she stepped down from the podium, a young alien child approached her, holding up a plate. Dr. Chun, it burbled in its translator. Would you like to try my home world's version of spaghetti? I made it using the cookbook. With a warm smile, Dr. Chun accepted the plate. I would be honored, she said, taking a bite of the writhing, luminescent strands. Delicious, she declared, and she meant it. And so, as stars twinkled in the sky above and laughter echoed through the halls of the feast, the story of Earth's great culinary adventure came to a close. But in kitchens and dining rooms across the galaxy, on planets beyond counting and ships journeying into the unknown, the story of food, the story of us all, continued on, one meal at a time.